everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carissa. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best side hustles that you can do in Los Angeles. So all of these I have done myself, and they have kept me afloat for the 2.5 years that I lived in LA. If you don't know, I now live about 40 miles east of LA, but I still spend a good amount of time there and still do some of these side hustles when desperate times come calling, usually around rent day. So yeah, let's just get into it. All right, so the first side hustle I'm going to talk about is being a paid audience member. So many of you, I'm sure, have watched talk shows like late night talk shows or daytime talk shows, and they have large audiences. Now, while a lot of these shows air at night, like the late night shows typically air like 11 p.m. or later, they're actually filmed during the day. So they're filmed in the afternoon when people are working. Luckily, LA is a tourist hub, and so there are a lot of people who are here not working during the day. But for anyone who doesn't know, these shows are actually free to attend. There's like pretty much none, I don't think, none that I can think of that you actually have to pay for a ticket. Every show is free. Just the more popular shows are harder to get tickets for. So shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live, Ellen, Conan, etc. are big enough and popular enough that they actually don't need paid audience members. But shows like Steve Harvey's show, Family Feud, The Talk, The Real, etc. These are shows that, while they do have a good amount of people who come to see them every day, they can't quite fill their entire audience with just free people. And there's nothing worse than filming a show in front of an empty audience. So what these shows do is they actually pay audience members to come and attend. And so they actually go through third-party companies who cast audience members. So the company that I use, there's a couple of them. The one that I primarily use is called Standing Room Only. There's also another one called On-Set Audiences and a couple others, but those are the two like big ones. You would just apply, and if you're cast, they'll let you know, all right, you're good to go, and you meet at the same place as everyone else, but you just get paid on your way out. So these jobs typically pay minimum wage. SRO used to always pay in cash, which was a really big perk, honestly. Now I think they're usually doing PayPal. I haven't used them in a while since I've moved, but last time I checked, it was like $13 or $14 that you got per hour. And it's really nice. It's like an easy way to make money. It just takes a few hours. My favorite show to do was The Real. It was really convenient to go. You just show up at 6 a.m., which is when they started, and you were out before 10. And I had like $40 or $50 in my pocket, and it was awesome. It was like gas money, grocery money, whatever. It was really convenient to get the cash. Now having it with PayPal, it's a little less convenient because you do have to wait like a couple of weeks for it to hit your account, I think. But they do have some shows that are still cash. But yeah, so this is just a really fun thing you can really only do in LA, maybe in New York City a little bit, but just because there are so many shows that film here, there are so many opportunities to do audience, and you're just sitting in the audience. Like, you're not doing anything different than anybody else is doing. You're just getting paid on the way out because they needed you to fill the seat. Yeah, it's really fun. I've done some really cool shows. I've gotten to like talk to some of the people who are like on the show. Like Steve Harvey is the best, and he always, like, at the end of every taping will talk to us for like 20 minutes and just give like the most inspirational speeches, and he's just such an awesome guy. And when I do The Real, Adrian from the Cheetah Girls is on The Real, and so is Tamara Mori, as in like Tia and Tamara. And I have been obsessed with them since I was a little tiny child, and it's like super awesome to get to go and see them all the time. And they're really cool about like talking to people in the audience also. So yeah, it's a really fun thing. It's a cool community of people that all do these shows. And yeah, so I highly recommend doing that. So the second side hustle I'm going to talk about is background acting. So background acting, if you don't know, is being an extra. So anytime you're watching TV, you're watching a movie, and the actors are in a school, or they're at a concert, or they're at a park, or anywhere where there's other people, all of those people in the background have been cast. They're not just randomly there. They have been hired and they're being paid to be in the background. Background also pays minimum wage, which is just typical for a lot of these jobs. The main company that's just anyone can do is called Central Casting. And for that, you just register with them, and then you're hired on as an employee. and you receive a W-2 from them at the end of the year for taxes. And for that, what they do is you go in for the registration and they take a couple headshots of you and you go through the whole like onboarding process. And then they have a Facebook page where they post job opportunities like constantly, like multiple a day. And they'll say what they're looking for. We're looking for men and women who appear to be between the ages of 18 and 30, all races, or they'll specify an ethnicity they want you to look like. Sometimes they'll say 18 to look younger, which means they want you to be 18 years old, but you look like you could be less than 18 because they want to cast like high schoolers or something. There's different things that they'll look for, and they'll post exactly what. They also do cars. Like if they're looking for a specific car, they'll say we're looking for red, black, or white cars from this year to this year, and you can submit photos of your car and whatnot. So usually what you do is you either send an email to submit yourself, and they'll leave an email and like a subject line to put in, and you submit yourself for the job. Or sometimes they do calling, and you have to just call a number and call over and over and over and over and over again until you finally get through, and they'll tell you if you're booked or not. And if you get booked, it's always for the next day unless they specify that it's for a later date. And some shows, if they need people to be in a specific costume, you'll have to go for a fitting ahead of time, and you get paid for the fitting just like you would for anything else. But for a standard situation, you would get booked. They'll give you a number to call later that day to get your details. And so you call that number, and they'll tell you where you're meeting, what time you're meeting, what kind of clothes you need to bring, etc. Because you do like 9 times out of 10 bring your own clothes. And you have to bring a few different options and whatnot, which I honestly prefer to bring my own stuff than to have to like squeeze into their like dirty, used background clothes. But yeah, so you go in the next day, and it's awesome because you get to be on like really cool shows. Like I was on the Jane the Virgin season 3 finale, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And that was insane because the whole cast was there, and I got to meet Gina and the whole cast. Justin Baldoni, who plays Raphael, was so nice and was like hanging out with us the whole day. It was amazing. I've also done, what other shows have I done? I've done a bunch of random shows that I had never heard of, and then some other like bigger shows. I did The Runaways on Hulu, which is like a Marvel show, I guess. But yeah, so it's really cool because you get to just like be on TV. You get to just be in TV shows, and the actors are just all around you. And it's just like a really cool, fun thing. And like, if you're gonna get paid minimum wage, you might as well get paid minimum wage doing a really cool job. So, and also I want to mention with background, it's like day by day. Like you just get booked for a day and then it's over. So it's a good way to like fill in gaps if you work freelance or if you have certain days off. It's good. You can just try to book yourself a job for the day that you have off. It's just a really convenient way to like make money on days when you're not working. So those are the 2 big like LA central ones. But another one that's really awesome that I did for a long time, and that's, I'd say like a little better in a place like LA versus somewhere else, is nannying. If you have any experience with kids, try to be a nanny. It is amazing. I was a nanny for like a year and a half from January of 2018 until June of 2019. And I was a nanny for 2 like school age boys in the Valley in LA, and they went to a private school in LA. And there is nothing better than being a nanny for kids in private school, especially kids in private school in LA. You know why? Because who else has their kids in private school in LA? Celebrities. They're everywhere. Like it's just nuts. Like they're everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a famous person, and nobody cares because they're just like regular people, and they're just here supporting their kids. And it's such a cool way to see celebrities, because I work in production. Like I've seen famous people at events. I worked at a production company where we had celebrities in all the time for meetings and whatnot. But it was just really cool to see these people just like living their regular lives, being parents, going to their kids' basketball games, football games, going to pick their kids up from school. Like it was just really awesome. And you also get paid hella nice. Like if you get a nice family that's making some money living in LA, if they own a house in LA, they probably have some money. If their kids are going to private school, they definitely have some money. and they pay their nannies well. And I only worked part-time, and so but if I had worked full-time, I would have been living large. Like I was really making a good amount of money, and it wasn't super time consuming. I worked Monday through Friday from 4 to 8-ish. It would vary here and there, but that was pretty much my schedule. But yeah, it was just like a really awesome job. It's not for everyone. You really have to be good with kids. You have to love kids. Like that's at the end of the day, that's the job. It's not to like meet celebrities at your kid's school. It's to be a nanny. It's hard work, but it's something that's really fun, and there's a lot of just awesome perks. All right, so those are the 3 best side hustles that I think you can do in LA. I tried to pick things that were a little more specific to LA and not like the basic things you see on every freaking website. Like every single website is like drive for Lyft, drive for Uber, deliver for Postmates. Like, yes, obviously those things are all great. And I actually do drive for Uber Eats and DoorDash, and it's great, but it's not really specific to LA. And I don't know. It's like you can do that, but everyone and their mother will tell you to do those. Or when I hate when websites say like do surveys. Like no, doing surveys is not going to make me pay my rent. I'm going to get 30 cents today for the survey, and I can't even cash out yet because you need $5 to cash out. It's like the worst. So those lists are so annoying. But yeah, so I hope this is actually helpful, and really look into it. Like doing SRO or background is really easy to sign up, especially SRO, and anyone can do it. Like they need people who look every different way. They need people who fit every different look because every casting director is looking for someone different. Every TV show is looking for diversity in their audience. So there's opportunities for really everyone, and I wouldn't like limit yourself because you don't think you look the right way. I know it can be intimidating when you're going to be on TV. Like just know that like you don't have to like fit a certain look. Don't let that limit you. And it's just a really awesome way to make some extra cash in LA. Like why not, right? And then nannying, once again, if like it's something that you really have to be good with kids to do, but if you are, like, be a nanny instead of being a summer camp counselor or instead of working at an after school program. If you're going to do that anyway, you might as well work with kids and make way more money than that. So look into it. It's really fun. I know a lot of people hire for summer. A lot of people hire like afternoon hours during the year. I used care.com, and the person who hired me actually reached out to me. I didn't even apply to an ad for her, but you can apply to like endless ads, and you leave like your credentials and like what experience you have and whatnot. It's just a really great way to make some extra money. So I hope that these things were helpful. I hope you guys learned something from this, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.